I'm just ready for it to be absolutely over and done with. I'm ready to wake up from this nightmare. But could I be waking up to the possibility of a former Super Bowl MVP and Philadelphia legend coming home? Sounds crazy. We'll talk about it coming up next.
That guy is insane!
Welcome, everybody, to the Eagles News Now podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wilde. This is bar 4133, and another day brings another Carson Wentz video, and hopefully I am coming down to one of the final Carson Wentz videos I'll ever have to make. As I said in the intro, this has just been absolutely exhausting, from all of the negative articles to all the speculation to all the craziness that surrounds the local media. I'm ready for it to be over with and move forward with whoever's going to be our quarterback, and then look forward to the draft and a way to bringing this team back to what it was just 3 years ago. It's insane that just 3 years ago, this team was in the Super Bowl. And happy Super Bowl Sunday. I will give you my Super Bowl prediction at the end of this video. So let's talk about it, guys. Just a couple days ago, Adam Schefter reported that Carson Wentz was just days away from being traded from the Philadelphia Eagles in what would be a blockbuster trade. Now it comes down to what it looks like it's going to be the Chicago Bears or the Indianapolis Colts, with a lot of talk going Chicago's way. Chicago makes the most sense to me, as I just don't see Indianapolis taking on Carson's contract. I think Chicago has more space to move there. But here is the rumored trade that is just days away from happening, and why I think the deal's already done. Now, the league doesn't want this announced, obviously, during Super Bowl weekend, and probably not the Monday after the Super Bowl. I think Tuesday at the earliest. You'll see when this trade happens. But here we go, guys. Saturday evening, Natalie Egnoff tweets, the name she's hearing is Tariq Cohen, a first-rounder, and Yes World Nick Foles. That was followed up by Howard Eskin as he tweets, rumors all over tonight on Eagles trade of quarterback Carson Wentz. Here's what I'm told. Wentz and a draft pick to the Bears for the number one draft pick, quarterback Nick Foles, and running back Tariq Cohen, who's coming off an ACL injury but should be ready in September. Now, guys, before I talk about what that trade would mean to Philly, Tariq Cohen went on Twitter basically right after this and says, let me clear this up real quick. Just got off the phone with my head coach and GM. Bears fans, we locked in. Don't worry, 100% people say anything nowadays, man. Now, obviously, if he did get a hold on a Saturday night of both the head coach and the GM of the Chicago Bears, obviously, they're not going to tell him the truth, guys. Let's just be honest. They're not going to tell him until it's absolutely 100% locked in that this deal is being done, because Tariq Cohen going off on social media on the Bears could end up killing the deal. Also, as far as the Eagles are concerned, maybe the deal's not done, and these rumors just are putting the price up for the Indianapolis Colts, or maybe a dark horse team like the New England Patriots or the San Francisco 49ers, or even the Las Vegas Raiders, who GM Mike Mayock said that before Carson was drafted, he just fell in love with Carson Wentz, as well as John Gruden. So who knows? They could be in the mix too. But it just seems like that this Bears deal is done. And obviously the most interesting aspect of this comes in what the Eagles are going to get in return. Now, look, I'm hearing rumors that they might send a second-round pick to Chicago with Carson Wentz, which basically means that the first-round pick that they're getting back, which would be 20, is basically like a late-round, second-round pick, as they'd be moving up from 37 to 20. So I don't like that too much. Also, Nick Foles, the big story here. It just almost seems poetic that he would end up with the Eagles again. Now, I don't think that bids well for Jalen Hurts. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is a little bit more mentally ready, it seems like, than Carson Wentz ever was. But guys, the first incomplete pass from Jalen Hurts, the first bad series, the first bad game, and he's going to have bad games because, look, it's his second year. It would be his second year starting. It's just going to happen. The the Philadelphia fan base is going to be screaming for Nick. I mean, we know it. Hopefully, it never gets to that point. And I think Nick would be great, again, as a backup to help guide Jalen Hurts. And again, like I said, maybe it's just nostalgia. I think it's kind of cool that he would end up back here once again and probably finishing his career here in Philadelphia. And he is the best backup in the NFL. I mean, the guy when he comes in to back up, especially for the Eagles. Let's just say this: whenever Nick Foles puts on a green Eagles jersey, the dude, it's like it gives him superpowers or something. Because everywhere else he's been, he just has not been good. Let's face it. He wasn't good in Jacksonville. He wasn't really good in Chicago unless he was facing Tom Brady. So being back in an Eagles uniform, it just does something to this guy. However, I don't think Carson Wentz can go to Chicago with Nick Foles being in that locker room. If the trade does not involve Nick Foles, and again, Carson and Nick are friends, they're tight, but Carson's mind, his psyche cannot handle Nick Foles being his backup. It just can't. It can't handle being on the same team as the guy that won his Super Bowl. We've talked a lot about Carson Wentz's silence. I was listening to Glenn Macnow and Ray Didinger on WIP this morning. Those two are like the only two guys that I can really stand and listen to for a long time, besides Ike Reese. And Glenn, I guess, talked to a friend of Carson Wentz's, and Glenn asked him, why has Carson been so silent? Why hasn't he responded to any of the things being said about him in the media? And his friend said, look, Carson doesn't feel like it's going to do him any good to try to explain himself or try to spin these negative narratives. It's just, at this point, what's the point? So, yeah, to me, if someone's saying some bad stuff about me, and I got little kids wearing my jerseys and looking up to me, I'm probably going to get in front of the media and dispel any of that negative stuff. Also, it helps his trade value out. But again, that's just me. Carson Wentz thinks differently. So, look, guys, either way, number 11 is not going to be a Philadelphia Eagle next year. That's pretty much set in stone, and now it's just what the Eagles can get back and where he's going to go. My guess is Chicago. Speaking of guesses, today is the Super Bowl. In just hours, the Chiefs and the Buccaneers will kick off as Tampa Bay gets home field advantage, if you can call it that, for the first time in Super Bowl history. I say that because, look, it's a COVID year. There's only going to be 25,000 fans in the stadium. Who knows how many of those are actually going to be real fans and not guys that got tickets from sponsors or sponsors themselves. And it is a game pitting Tom Brady, his 10th Super Bowl. That's unreal. I don't think we'll ever see that again, against the young gun Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid's Kansas City Chiefs, going back to the Super Bowl, second year in a row. Look, guys, I say this when I look at Tom Brady, that we're never going to see again a guy that, gets 6 Super Bowl rings or possibly 7, depending how today goes, and goes to 10 Super Bowls. But then I look at the other side of the ball and I see Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going, this kid is just different. The guy doesn't lose. He plays almost effortlessly. Look, if Pat Mahomes wins another Super Bowl, who knows? We might see, Pat Mahomes could be the next generation Tom Brady for all we know. The kid is that good. And now, look, he's got a great surrounding cast around him, but he is a really, really special player. And Andy Reid look, guys, Andy Reid getting Patrick Mahomes, this makes him right up there under Bill Belichick as far as best coaches ever. If he wins today, I think that propels him right up there. Legendary career. And it almost makes you wonder. He had McNabb here, but could you imagine if he had a guy like Patrick Mahomes in Philadelphia? Where we would be sitting? So, who's going to win? What's the score going to be? Now, they played earlier this year. The Chiefs won 27-24. I think Tampa Bay's defense is outstanding. Their front four is really good. And the Kansas City Chiefs are missing a couple starters on their offensive line, including right tackle Eric Fisher. This is going to be a problem. It would be a bigger problem for a normal team, but Patrick Mahomes, like I said, is no normal quarterback. And I don't think it's going to make it to where the Chiefs are going to lose. So I think, again, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I feel like even a guy like Mecole Hardman, I just think that this is a team with so much firepower. One of the best offenses I've seen since the greatest offense on turf from back in the early 2000s with the St. Louis Rams. And I just think that the Chiefs win another close game. I think Tom Brady hangs in there. Now, the Chiefs' defense, if you look at their defense, they have the worst defense when it comes to red zone efficiency. Normally, teams like that lose games like this. But again, I just think that their offense, and as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come in, they have their safeties there's a couple injuries in their secondary they're dealing with. I just don't think that they're going to be able to handle the speed that this offense brings. And I could be completely wrong on that. Tom Brady could come up with another Super Bowl victory, bringing his Super Bowl ring to 7. That's just unbelievable. But I don't think it'll go that way. Yeah, I'm thinking 37-31, Kansas City. Andy Reid getting his second Super Bowl. And look, for Eagle fans, I know sometimes it's hard to root for it. The girlfriend you lost to have a better life than you. But you're talking about Andy Reid. But look, this is a complete revenge game for Andy Reid, not just against Tom Brady, who he lost to, of course, with the Eagles in the Super Bowl, but against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that ruined what would have been a Super Bowl victory for Andy Reid. Everyone remembers that last game at the Vet when the Bucs went on to beat the Raiders, who I believe the Eagles would have won against too. So I'm rooting for the Chiefs all the way. I don't want to see Tampa Bay get another Super Bowl. I'll never forget being in that stadium, what they did to us, the final game of Veterans Stadium in the championship game. So I'm going all Chiefs. Go ahead, Big Red. Get yourself another ring. Guys, that's all we got. Of course, we'll be back because this news with Carson Wentz is going to break at some point. It's not going away, and we'll have tons of stuff to talk about. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Go Birds, and I'll see you later.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
I need Eagle Nation to stand.